So this listener says, after hearing the news of Russell Brand, what do you guys think about it? So I tried to give Ant a heads up, but
Yes, it didn't go through, but I
no.
think we can talk about this.
Yeah, well, I have to talk about quick about it.
Now Russell Brand, he is very famous comedian. I think his heyday was probably about 10 years ago. Wouldn't you guys
Yeah.
agree?
Yeah, definitely.
The height of his popularity. But recently, his big thing has been going after the pharmaceutical companies on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a show, and he kind of tells it like it is as far as he sees it. And he is messing, or at least, criticizing some of the most powerful people on the planet. And I think that's something to be lauded. He recently, I don't know if he went on Tucker Carlson's show or Carlson was on his show. Do you guys know about this? Do you know who Tucker Carlson is?
I know who he is, but I haven't heard that he was on there.
Yeah. Well, Tucker Carlson is like, he was the biggest guy on Fox News, which is like or at least it used to be the conservative news, cable news outlet here in the States.
Right.
And he was huge. He had the biggest show every year, like routinely. And Fox News fired him, I guess a few months ago. And since then, he's gone and moved his show over to Twitter, where it's like 10 times as popular as it ever was on Fox News. And when those two got together and started mouthing off about, Pfizer and things like that, it seems like they pissed off the wrong people, because out of nowhere, it seems like he became a target. Now, what exactly are the allegations? Do you guys know that he's some sort of...
I know there was one, something to do with a 16-year-old girl.
Right.
And then there's multiple,
but nobody said anything
taking
about
advantage
this
of
for
girls.
years.
Well,
That's what I was going to say on it. Like, I don't know why anyone's surprised. He's already came out in the past and said he's a sex addict and stuff like that, and he was a chauvinist and a piece of shit and a drug addict.
Now, is
So I don't know why people
remorseful
are
about
surprised.
that, or is it just like that's what I am and that's how I'll remain?
I think he's remorseful now because he's clean and sober and in a dedicated relationship and stuff. But at the end of the day, I think the timing of it is exactly what you said, Ant. I think he's going after people.
It certainly seems suspicious, at least
Oh,
from
yeah,
my
definitely.
perspective.
Yeah.
everyone knew.
Why
he
didn't
was
it come
doing
out
stuff
10
like
years
that.
ago?
Yeah.
Right. Why didn't this come out 10 years ago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially during the Me Too movement, where everyone was like, Weinstein's doing this, and it's like, well, that was the perfect time to. And it's corrupt as fuck over here, like of like BBC and all that sort of
Well,
stuff.
that's government-owned media, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
no,
Basically
no
propaganda.
frills propaganda channel.
Yeah. And then like as well, he was
That we have to pay for.
because we went for a massive problem with like energy crisis, and he was
Yeah.
going on about
Europe really took a wallop, it seems like.
yeah, but the
in the-
companies tripled their budget. They tripled their annual income because we were suffering and they were fucking making bank.
Right. And I don't think the UK was part of this, but I certainly Germany and France were purchasing most of their oil, I think, from the Russians.
Yeah.
And while at the same time deactivating all of their nuclear facilities,
Yeah.
the power plants and things. And then when the war in the Ukraine started, everybody was fucked.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
yeah.
Not to mention someone mysteriously blew up a pipeline. Thank you. Oh, I don't get to talk about this stuff on my show. Brian cuts me out. So
But that's the thing though. Like he says that he's now a reporter, doesn't he? He said he's a journalist or whatever. And the thing that makes me laugh is that nowadays no one gives a fuck about the news, right? Everyone's got a podcast. Everyone's
Right.
got social media where they can speak freely. They don't get censored.
Twitter is the number one news source in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
Well,
people on the ground. You'll see a video of the real event before it's ever been filtered through the mass media. Before,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Before somebody can ever come up with their take on it, you can
Yeah.
see the real event happening in real time on the internet.
So this is all they've got is to like
Right.
crush people or try and because Joe Rogan had the same thing, right? Like during COVID, he was taking a drug that was prescribed to him to get over COVID, and he got
Yes.
it really quickly. And the media was like just trying to slay him, and they were like, "You don't know who this guy is, right? Like he has millions of people listening to him."
Yeah,
Like,
you're,
probably,
you're not
most
shutting up Joe
influential-
Rogan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you're a fucking idiot. So that's what's happening. Is like that's their last resort, right? Oh well, we've got sources where we can bring up this person and not
I
to
think-
say
I
that
think
the
what
women
it-
aren't genuine, but you don't know, do you?
I think what it is 10 years ago when he was doing all this shit, he was part of the mainstream media, so they didn't touch him. And now that
He
he's
played for the right team.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
and now he's on his own side.
yeah.
This is what's happening.
Narrative is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if you're someone backing up whatever the powers that be want you to say, you will be fine. You can say anything you want.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the second you go and say, "Wait a minute, I don't like what's happening here, and it seems out of place," now you're a molester. You know.
And that's the easiest way to like
Right.
ruin someone's life, isn't it? Is to be like, oh, this person's
Nowadays,
gone forward.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's the thing.
And like, don't get me wrong, I loathe Russell Brand. I've never liked him ever. I used to have like when the people mention his names, I used to have involuntary spasms of like cursing when he come out.
He definitely. I never really followed his career all that
Oh,
closely.
he's just an awful fucking. Oh, I hate him. And his
He-
girly-headed fucking.
Yeah.
Ah,
He sings rather loud and
yeah.
Yeah.
When you listen to him, he is.
grating a bit.
I say he's like a race car. So like when he starts talking like really sort of slowly, and then he speeds up, and then he can't stop speaking, and then he's not breathing anymore, and he's like, and it's just like 5 minutes without a fucking breath, and you're like, I don't even know what you're saying now, mate.
That's how
Yeah,
Dane Cook used to be over here. You guys remember Dane Cook?
Yeah.
He was a big comedian about 15 years ago, and it was always,
Yeah, it's just like fucking hell. But yeah, no, like even though I hate his guts, like he's saying the right things for like us, right? It's like why are we getting fucked while they're making money? Why are we taking this drug that wasn't so?
tested.
Yeah, so
I mean,
yeah,
people's hearts are exploding. This is real.
Yeah.
This is important.
so
Yeah.
whether I like him or not, the things he's saying are correct, and yeah, I think it's all a massive conspiracy. This documentary just happens to come out when he's been on telly slagging off all these
Yeah.
billion companies.
it doesn't excuse what he did, but it's just the timing of it.
The
That's
last
what I think about it.
vestiges that I think mainstream media and the giant Hollywood media apparatus is boomers. They will never leave that. They're obsessed with it. They're addicted to it. I know, like I work with people in their 50s, the late 50s and their 60s. The TV has to be on at all times, and they're glued to it. And whatever it says is the gospel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my granddad was like that.
my mum's like
Everybody's
that.
granddad is like
Yeah, oh man, the shit he used to come out with. I'm like, where did you hear that? He was like, oh, it was in the paper. I was like, bullshit.
Exactly.
Just ignore it. It's
You
fucking bullshit.
anyone under 40 is like, where did if this is being in print media or it's coming from a news station, your gut reaction is they're lying to me,
Yeah,
Yeah,
right? That's the
Yeah.
base.
yeah,
And I think it's very healthy that that's beginning to happen more and more.
oh, absolutely, 100%.
definitely, definitely.
I
Yeah,
mean, look at when the Ukraine war started. If you guys remember, do you remember the Ghost of Kiev?
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
This was something that started to go around right in the first hours of the war, which was like heavy push all over social media and TV news of this fighter pilot for the Ukrainians who was shooting down
Everyone.
tons of Russian MiGs, left and right, and he's a hero and he's saving the country. It was all fake. It was just like stories coming out. No one knew what was happening, and they just came up with a narrative and ran with it immediately. I think we're about to see the same type of thing with Israel, what's happening with
Oh,
as we
God,
speak.
yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I
Yeah.
have no fucking clue what's happening down there.
no. Then China as well with Taiwan.
Let's sit back and figure out what information is going to get out to us, and then we can a month from now we can figure out what has been happening in the last 3 days.
yeah,
Yeah,
oh, absolutely,
yeah.
yeah. If it
You
was
never
like,
know the
behind
truth
enemy
until
lines,
after the fact.
Is it Behind Enemy Lines? The Jude Law, where he's a Russian sniper.
That
No.
was Enemy at the Gates.
Enemy at the Gates.
Yeah, it was in Stalingrad.
Yeah, where he like.
Good movie. Bad
Yeah.
accents,
Yeah.
but good movie.
Oh, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, he basically becomes this like person that everyone sort of like looks
Rallies
up to.
around.
Yeah.
It becomes like a propaganda movement, isn't it?
Yeah, and he hasn't killed
Yeah.
as many people as the papers say, but he's still out there.
Right. Exactly.
Um,
That was Stalinism. You know?
that's fucking. Oh man, I might have to watch that movie. That I like the bird in it. She was in Mummy. She was in the Mummy.
She was in The Mummy.
I can't remember
What's
her
her
name.
name?
Her arse in that is amazing because
She
bangs
is
him.
insanely hot. Or
Yeah.
was. She was in a movie called Envy with Ben Stiller and Jack Black. Did you ever see that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hilarious movie.
Yeah.
One of the
That
most
was-
like underrated.
Didn't that have
comedies.
Christopher Walken in it?
Yes, it did. He was the
Yeah,
J-Man.
yeah. Fucking great film. Bizarre as fuck, but so good. Anyway, I can't remember what the point was. Yeah, Russell Brand's a cunt. But
Rachel
yeah, anyway.
Weisz, Ways.
But yeah, the things he's saying are right. I don't discredit that. If you think
I mean,
he's-
whether they're right or wrong is irrelevant. It's just he should be allowed to say them, and it's kind of clear to people who are paying attention that he's being made to not be able to say it.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
they're trying to silence him.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, and
definitely.
if he's a piece of shit back then, he's going to be a piece of shit now anyway. Whether he's fucking sober or what. I think. Yeah, I'm not running to listen to his fucking. Listen, I tried to for this question. I was listening to his episode of Joe Rogan,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wanted to strangle the fucking life out of him. It was just fucking driving me mad. Oh. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question.